Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
In the
great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's four greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Superman.
Oh, the whole thing today.
Wow, we even got the Superman part of it today.
That's because we are all Supermen and women.
Hey guys!
It's a weird one.
This is weird.
What are you talking about?
Did you watch the WWF or the WWE wrestling where they didn't have an audience, but they were all doing the wrestling and the smack talk? That's what I feel like right now.
Why are you about to talk a lot of smack?
No, I just feel like it's so weird. We're in this ether right now. I know it's always like we don't have an audience when we do the show anyway. You know, we don't have our fans in the room with us, but it just feels weird. It's weird.
I see an animal in the background, Mikey. We don't normally have animals in there either.
That's Cadence. That's my girlfriend's dog. That's now both of ours. And then Indy is, there he is. Indy, there he is.
It's like a look into our souls, guys.
Got the pups. All right.
I was kind of expecting you both to have big DC backgrounds or something, you know. Mikey, I thought that but I thought you would have a whole cowl situation going on behind you. Adam, I thought you would have all the comic books. You know, I brought some Funkos to play along with. All right, you're bringing it a little bit.
Hold on.
Oh,
there we go.
That's dope.
This could have been what we could have seen. This was the Ben Affleck movie that was supposed to happen right now. This was, what was supposed to happen. But now here, man, that sculpt, he looks so damn good. Look how good that looks as Affleck. Look at that.
Yeah, he does look good. He's a handsome Batfleck.
Yeah, so I got my Batman stuff. All this, the suits are in the room. Maybe next time, if we're stuck like this for a while, next stream I'll do as Batman. How about that? Will that be better, Rox?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Batman. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good to me. So same as always, guys. I think we should still tell them who we are and what we're doing here. Adam.
Let's do it, guys.
Hey guys, welcome to this just normal episode of DC Movie News. I'm Adam Gertler, joined as sometimes by Mike Kalinowski. How you doing, Mike?
Hey guys, how we doing? Hello, everybody. Here I am in Burbank.
Hey, Mike, where can people not find you?
Yeah, guys, you can't find me on Twitter right now. You could see my name in there, and you'll see at Mike Kalinowski, but I can't use it. I'm not allowed to use it because I was in Twitter jail for 12 hours, and it's turned into a whole week because the world's falling apart. Twitter doesn't want to talk to me anymore. So, guys, I apologize. If you have been reaching out to me all week, I have not seen it. I can't activate it. It's there. You can tweet out to me all you want, but I cannot touch it and see it. I'm trying to get resolved. We'll talk more about that later. So I apologize if you've reached out to me. That is not my fault. I'm not ignoring you guys.
Mike, how has this affected your daily positive affirmations that you began for 2020?
I'm still doing them on Instagram.
Oh, great.
I do it on Instagram, and then I link it to Twitter and Facebook. So that's what Instagram. So that has kept me going. I actually wanted to stop like last couple days ago, and I was just like, why am I doing this? But then I was like, no, I got to keep a routine.
I'd say now more than ever.
Yeah, you and I, Adam, we got the Corona beards going on.
Oh yeah, we got the isolation beards, baby.
Are you gonna let yours go as much as you can?
I mean, probably.
You got to work in a business, in a restaurant, so I don't know if you can how much you can go. Well, you can.
But I don't deal with people in my restaurant. My restaurant is a to-go and delivery only concept.
There you go.
Fortunately. But before we go any further, I'd be remiss not to introduce the crown jewel of DC Movie News. We are joined by Roxy Stryer.
Keeping my beard relatively close to the face.
Thank God.
Thank you. I do like that it does take the coronavirus for the three of us to make it to the same stream. It's actually easier for us to stream when we're all on lockdown. So if there is any silver lining of this thing, it's that I get to do this with you guys, hopefully for the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Well, not hopefully like we're here for the coming weeks, but hopefully we're all three here. Does that make sense?
Well, guys, it does look like we're going to be here for the next coming weeks. It doesn't look like this is ending anytime soon. We know that Safer at Home is going at least until April 19th, I believe. That's the last I've heard? Is
Yeah,
it?
a month, 30 days. That's what they said.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. I personally was trying to get tested myself. Getting tested is next to impossible.
Let me ask you, why were you trying to get tested? Are you feeling something, or because you're delivering food?
Because I'm delivering food, and I was trying to get tested, and they're just not letting people do it. They're just requiring people quarantine themselves.
Right.
And my thing is like, I was like, hey, but we need to get tested because I'm delivering food or I'm handing off food. And apparently they closed the testing facility close to me in Los Angeles yesterday, like closed it. Because it wasn't affecting how doctors were treating it because there's no treating. So, that's all the good news.
Yeah, it's wild state by state right now, but there really isn't much of a way to get tested. And if you call your doctor's office and you tell them that you're not feeling good, they will tell you, do not come here. Do not
Yeah.
come here because you will infect the people that need to take care of people. And we are taking care of people with all different ailments right now, like cancer didn't stop and other diseases didn't stop. This is just crazy.
Flu season, Roxy, too. There's other flu going around.
Yeah, yeah, flu and cold season. Gotta love it, baby. If there was ever a time for needed superheroes on this planet, it's definitely right now in 2020. Although I don't know if people want what Wonder Woman is putting down. Imagine.
Oh, I still have not seen that, but
I loved it. I'm the only
I loved it.
person.
And like Anson Mount, that guy that Black Bolt, that crap actor, he was like bashing them. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, did you bash the people in Italy that were singing from their balconies? Like, people deal with shit in their own way.
They weren't hurting anybody. They weren't.
What was the problem? That people just thought it was too cheesy?
No, they
Anson
think
Mount
that
was
it's
like,
tone deaf.
the bullshit, tone deaf.
Celebrities singing Imagine No Possessions, things like that. People
Right.
thought that it wasn't. But honestly, like, if we're gonna make fun of people right now, it's got to be the Vanessa Hudgens of the world. It can't be the Gal Gadots. Come on, guys, get your
What's wrong
priorities.
with that? What's wrong with Vanessa Hudgens? What happened with her?
Oh,
Well,
no.
she kind of
Did you miss
suggested
it?
that.
I
Sorry?
know. I just saw the Twitter with the moaning for her tattoo.
No, it was
Did
so
you see that?
No, I'll tell you about it later. This is DC
Okay.
movie news, but I will tell you later.
It was pretty great. It was classy. She's classy. Yeah, Roxy's right. We should talk about DC movie news. And I think we have to talk about how COVID-19 has affected the world of entertainment production. Every industry is affected. Every person on this planet is affected. But some of the, I guess you could say, positive repercussions is that movies that were just released and also recently released are going to streaming and video on demand services much quicker. And Birds of Prey is actually getting an early VOD release as well.
Yeah.
This is both positive and negative. The positive is that if you are home, you're getting more content to watch. And I think that a lot of people are excited about that, as Warner Brothers is not the only company doing this. But the negatives is that right now for Birds of Prey, it will only help them make money. But for other movies that are going to be skipping in theaters and going straight to VOD, or even like a Pixar situation with Onward, they've just lost so much money that they're going straight to VOD is not going to recoup it for them. And there's just no way to be financially successful just VOD for some of these over $100 million budget movies.
Mhm.
So even over anything over a $30 million budget movie, it's just very challenging, very challenging. So I'm excited to be able to watch things as I'm in self quarantine, but I'm also scared for these companies and Warner Brothers in particular right now, as their streaming services seem to be confusing and not fully up and running the same way that a Disney Plus is right now.
What do you guys think about how this could affect? We felt this coming for a long time, and people have been talking about the demise of the cinema going experience, the theater going experience. We've seen like Movie Pass, things like that. Do you think this is going to expedite the sort of end of movie going as we know it? Or what kind of long-term effects do you think this is going to have on the industry, if at all?
Definitely at all. Mike, how are you feeling about it?
To be honest, and I kind of am lumped in this with theme parks as well. Um, Look at what we're dealing with right now, and it's kind of speak like we are. This is a global shift, and it's going to change the way we live our lives from now on after this. And look at everyone, and whether you want to believe, what's important, what's not important. Look at the frontline people that are the most important people to us right now. These people that some people don't deserve a living wage, and those are the people keeping us alive right now. The food service workers, the stock shelf people, the grocery store helpers. So entertainment, look at everyone right now. It's like I'm binging this, I'm binging that. It's like when people don't think entertainment's important, that's what's keeping people going is entertainment. I
Well,
think there's
actually, Mikey, it was considered for better or worse, whatever your thoughts are at home about this, it was considered one of the essential jobs. Podcasting, media,
oh, see, I didn't
video.
know that.
It was considered an essential job. So in the list of things right now, at least, there's a
like
there's a state lockdown
right.
in
Okay.
California, and there's one in New York as well. But on the list, LA Times put out an entire list of what is considered an essential job, meaning you can go to and from legally right now, and podcasting, video, entertainment were considered essential.
I'm glad they looped entertainment in there because when podcasting you think that would be news and stuff because so much of our news is podcast now. But I think
Yeah, it says media,
long
a lot of
term,
things.
I think when this is finally done, um, people are like theme park work with what I do in theme parks in general. Like Orlando's a little different because that's their entire business, but movie theaters are gonna be floored with people to go to the movies because we're gonna be so cooped up for so long. We're gonna want to go back to that.
Right.
I gotta get out. I gotta get out of the house. I gotta see a movie. I gotta go to the theme park. I gotta get out of my house. We've been in this neighborhood for so long and walking the block for so long. You know, the movies are always gonna be made. TV's always gonna be made. Um, you know, but okay. The only thing I can use is that there's been two big instances in my life of changing events: 9/11, and then the recession of 2008.
Yeah.
And
I think that would
9/11,
be for all of us that are here.
right? Yeah, I should say
Yeah.
that. Look at 9/11. People were scared to travel, and we don't want to travel anymore, and that went away. The after effects were like we have to take off our shoes and we have to carry little things of you know our toiletries anymore. So that it changed that, but also the air industry, we came back to it full fold. It never was like people were not still afraid to travel anymore. I think for a while afterwards, movie theaters are going to do limited seating, like maybe do a half full.
Wow.
So people get back to normal. Like movies have been around forever, and TV's been around. It's not going anywhere. Um, I don't know. I don't know because streaming is so big as it is. It's not like if this
Yeah.
was maybe 10 years ago, streaming that would have changed everything. But streaming is such a big part of our life right now. I don't
Do you
know.
think this will make it even harder for like small and mid-budget films to get seen? Does it make it even more of an event sort of thing? And we are a movie show that talks mostly about bigger films because
Right.
most DC properties are bigger films.
I think
Do you-
it's not going to be those big franchise tentpole films that are going to struggle. It's not going to be the Batman, Marvel, Star Wars of the world that are going to struggle after this, because I do agree that those movies demand to be seen in theaters because of the effects and CGI and even the like interstellars of the world where you really want to go to the theaters to see it in that scope. I
yeah,
think that those will be relatively okay, but absolutely the mid-level ones and some superhero movies at this point are mid-level.
yeah,
A Joker was a lower budget. A Birds of Prey is a lower budget, and I think that right now, if people after this, if you don't need to go to the theaters to see something, not that you ever need to, but I mean, if it doesn't
right.
seem to require it for an enhanced viewing pleasure, then I think that indie movies are in trouble. They're in trouble because people will just wait. And I do think this is going to have people scared for a really long time,
Yeah,
and including myself.
yeah,
As you guys know, I take care of my two elderly grandparents, and they say that the worst of this is not going to hit until summer. which means that for the rest of the 2020 year, most likely we will be dealing with some kind of coronavirus issue. And so that means 2020 is a year in which I, because I am interacting with them, am not going to the movies.
Yeah.
So I think that there are probably a lot of people like me in a situation where they cannot get sick as they are caretakers, or they are in fact themselves. Like my grandparents go to the movies once a week. They certainly will not be going to the movies for the rest of 2020.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people in that situation.
I think compared to the two tragedies that Mike mentioned, the 2008 and 9/11, financially, I think the fallout from this is going to be a lot worse than anything any of us have lived through, unfortunately, because every industry has halted like this and the entire economy is stopping. It's going to take years to recover,
Years.
years to get it going again.
And those
So,
are gonna be for the businesses that even survive it,
yeah,
the big AMCs, okay, yes, they're shutting down for a little bit, but, all of our favorite smaller non-chain movie theaters, they're screwed.
yeah.
They're not this is probably the end
But
of that for
to,
now.
to put a button on Birds of Prey, the film was underseen. It underperformed. At least personally, I know for all of us, we feel like it certainly wasn't seen proportionately to how enjoyable the film was.
Right.
Do you think this is one of those like perfect films to show up at home where people maybe have had that curiosity, and now that you maybe spent $20 for everybody in the house and not, 20 bucks a person when you figure in parking and popcorn and all that, do you think maybe it will get some eyeballs, or do you think like we're gonna find out soon? I'm curious about
I definitely think that this is a great movie, even tonally speaking, to watch during something like this. I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a really hard time watching incredibly serious things right now. Like my brain is going to, I would like to watch Jersey Shore. I want to watch The Circle. I want to see Love Is Blind. I want to watch Schitt's Creek. My right now I cannot put on I haven't even watched the premiere of Westworld because right now
it.
I'm
Me
like,
neither.
it's just too much for me at
Too
this
heavy.
moment. So I think a Birds of Prey type movie, or just Birds of Prey in general, is definitely something that people are craving right now because it's easy to watch. It's fun. It's action packed. It's out of this world, and it's larger than life. And that's the kind of thing, at least for me, that I want to
Mhm.
watch right now. And I want, do we know if it's going to the DCU streaming service as well, or if it's just VOD for purchase? Does anybody have they made any announcements about that?
I
About
believe
what?
right now it's just going to be for purchase. I don't think it's going to the DC universe anytime soon. At least I don't believe there was an announcement about that.
If they were trying to get more people to get on that app, which I don't know that they are because HBO Max is in pending launch, this would be the way to do it. Disney right now is talking about all their stuff going to Hulu or Disney Plus. They're not talking about releasing it only for purchase. So if they're trying to shoot for longevity of their app, this would be going to DCU.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a good point. Sorry, go ahead, Mikey.
No, I'm just agreeing with you guys. Yeah. Um,
Um, Looking at the future of DC films, and no bigger film can we think of than the Batman, which has been in production, has just like every other film halted production. So I'm curious, Mike, what do you think about? What does this mean for the release date of a film like the Batman, which is not happening until next summer? Does it have to change just because of production delay, or do you think they could still make their deadline? Remember, this is a film that's supposed to come out before Suicide Squad, which started shooting
yeah.
over a month before.
Yeah. I don't know, guys, but I'm trying to. I'm everything we talk about. I'm gonna try and do a positive spin on it because I don't, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You know, I think DC's in a very good position because, like we'd said, Suicide Squad is done filming. They can now go into post production, which is a much smaller group of people to work on this thing.
Mhm.
They could get finished and be in theaters before Batman. So Batman and them could flip places. And the good thing is with DC and I think Marvel's now going to run into a huge problem because they're so interconnected and you need to see this movie to go to this movie to go to this movie. Whereas DC, as we are, they're not connected really per se. So if the Batman comes out Suicide Squad, doesn't matter. No, I don't think they're going back in 2 weeks to
I
start
think
shooting
that,
again. I
but they
think you got
also they don't want to compete with themselves. So to answer your question, Adam, I think that they're going to have a really hard time keeping their other slots if Wonder Woman has to move because Wonder Woman coming in not coming in June, they could do what the other movies are doing, which is push to October, November. It's a very crowded time right now, though. And I think that Wonder Woman, very much so on purpose, has tried to keep has moved to a summer slot. I bet that they're wishing right now that they hadn't pushed the date, but hindsight's 2020. If they have to, because it hasn't been announced, Wonder Woman has not been announced yet that they're moving.
No, and let's talk about that because that was something else we wanted to talk about. We know that we've heard Black Widow, which is supposed to come out in the beginning of May, has pushed back. Mike, you bring up a great point that yes, they can move. They also have Disney is so set up and sitting pretty with their streaming platform. If this ends, Roxy, I hadn't really thought about it in terms of what you said before. I was thinking, wow, they'll be so lucky to be in that June release date if they lift this restriction. But you bring up the point of people having a sort of residual fear of gathering in big places. So is it in their best interest to move Wonder Woman 84, or do you think they should try to hold on to their slot as long as they can?
I don't think they're going to have a choice. I think they're going to have to move it because I think that theaters are still going to be closed at that point. I think it was AMC that announced 12 weeks, some up to 12 weeks they had said, which, if they announce that just right now, that is 3 months, the end of March to April, May, June. That's right there. I think that they're in theaters not open territory, and I don't think they're going to be able to drop it if the major chains are closed, unless they wanted to try to do a VOD type thing. But I don't think that there's a shot that Wonder Woman does well in that. So similar to what Fast did. Fast 9 took Fast 10's slot a full year later in April 2021. Wonder Woman might have to do that same thing. They might have to push right to
Yeah, I mean,
the Batman slot.
they might look at this summer as a wash for movies and pick up in the fall, and everything that was scheduled over the summer is going to get pushed back. Most theaters, or most franchise like DC, Marvel, they've got slots slated, so they can just start shipping their movies back and back. I mean,
And none of this is the end of the world because we're still, these movies, a lot of these movies are in the can.
Yeah.
And some of them are not, but they will finish them up. This doesn't mean we're never going to see Wonder Woman. This doesn't mean we're never going to see the Batman or Suicide Squad. We are going to see them, but the world is taking a pause for a minute, and that means that big productions have to do the same thing. So, hopefully the anticipation for these movies will just grow so that when Wonder Woman 84 does drop, so many people are so excited about it that it does incredibly well. I'm hoping that this helps those movies for when they finally do air. Uh, that would be fingers crossed.
Do you foresee a situation where a Wonder Woman could get released, but because of a naturally slow box office, they also offer an on-demand or home streaming for $30 to $40, which has been talked about before. But now do you have this kind of possibility where they kind of like double down, and so they're not giving it for $20, but they're going to say $30, $40 and still release it in theaters at the same time?
Do you own it then, Adam, or is that's a one-time viewing experience?
I think you own it. I think you own it.
I guess if I couldn't go to the movie theaters to see Wonder Woman and it was available for $40 and then I owned it, I would pay for it. But during this economy, I don't know. That's gonna be a tough sell to ask families to drop $40 on one movie.
Although if it's a family, it's still cheaper than going to the movies.
Yeah.
It is, but it is for specifically that movie. But it depends on who your family is made up of. how many people in your family would have gone to see the Wonder Woman movie anyway? Would it have been 2 of you guys, or would it have been all 5 of you guys, you know? Or are you
Yeah.
living by yourself as this lady is? My family consists of, my grandparents aren't gonna go see that movie, so I don't know. That's a large price.
It is a 4-quadrant film, though. When you talk about 4-quadrant films, this is one of those films that like a family can see, and
That's true.
I couldn't see that working out for a lot of films, but something like a Marvel movie or a DC or like a big franchise film, I could. That's just a scenario that has been talked about in the past, and I'm just wondering if, because like you said, a lot of these movies are in the can, and they're going to have to decide how long do we hold it or do we release it, because the money has already been spent, and how long can these studios go without some revenue? Like how long can you put off new if you've already spent all this money? I don't know. These are questions that I imagine people much more involved in the business than us are dealing with constantly right now, like in all their boardrooms. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. I'm looking at Warner Brothers slate for this year. And eh, after Wonder Woman that's supposed to be on June 5th, on June 26th, they've got In the Heights. Tenet's coming on July 17th, or it was supposed to. They've got Conjuring coming in September, and a couple of movies in between those. Godzilla Kong in November.
Ah,
June and December. There's not really a spot that we could move this to where we're not competing with ourselves.
huh.
So I think that I don't know that there is a weekend, that there is a release date that Wonder Woman could push to in the 2020 year that would be financially responsible for Warner Brothers.
God. The optimistic side of me wants to say that if they cleared everything up and people were safe to go out of their houses by June, that it would be like the biggest opening weekend it could be for any movie, because people are going to be so desperate to get out of their house and do something.
But I think, like Mikey said, even if the theaters are open at that point, I don't think there's any way they do jam-packed houses. I don't think they do every seat. Maybe they do every other seat, but I don't think by June we're gonna be able to sell out theaters, even, I mean, like, legally speaking.
Sky Patterson chimes in that August 7th, 2020 is available. Is that
August
true?
7th, 2020. Well, let's see. If we're going to August, uh, August 14th right now, they have a movie called Malignant slated. I
That
don't
doesn't
know.
sound like something I want to see.
No. And August 21st, they have Untitled Fred Hampton Project slated. Do we know what those are?
I think I agree with Sky Patterson that it's open.
But the Malignant one is directed by James Wan.
Probably one
Okay.
of those low budget horror films that he does.
Yeah. So we could try to push to August. It will be in theaters then. It will be coming out 2 weeks after Tenet. So I don't
But
think
Tenet is, that's sort of a different audience. I know there's overlap, but it's not going to be competing with Tenet. I don't think, especially not after 2
But he's
weeks.
not a 4-quadrant. Those Nolan films. That is a very specific audience that goes to those.
yeah, very
But I
true.
was very much more looking at that movie. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
to Roxy's point, though, people are going to be craving popcorn. I tried to watch some self-serious dramas just in the past couple of days, like the show Kingdom on Netflix, which is like a Korean zombie film or zombie show that I think normally I would have loved, and I had to turn it off. I was just like not in the mood, couldn't take things seriously that were not real, and I feel like a Wonder Woman popcorn movie, when this is over, it's like the perfect film and the perfect time.
I agree. I agree.
Um,
We'll see.
Direct effects of the coronavirus include our one and only unnamed The Suicide Squad star Idris Elba was diagnosed with corona, and he's also been a pretty positive source. Have you guys listened to what he's had to say on Twitter and followed that story at all?
I can't follow on Twitter.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
So,
Uh,
but I've been
the
following
scary-
through other people.
The most frustrating thing about his story was the fact that he felt zero symptoms. Uh, not frustrating, I guess I maybe the word scary, that I think right now when we're living in a world of unknown, the fact that Idris Elba, who he just feels like a real life superhero. I mean, I think there's a reason why people were talking about how he should play. First, people were saying James Bond, Batman, Superman. Like his name has been thrown out for so many larger than life characters, and then for him to be like, "Listen, I'm totally fine, but I was exposed to somebody who had the virus, so I got tested, and like I guess I also have it." That was, I think, one of the eye-opening that Tom Hanks and that I think were
Mhm.
really eye-opening moments for society to be like, "Oh, this is real and it can come for anybody and it takes all different forms."
Yeah. Yeah. Again, so terrifying because a lot of people don't feel a lot of symptoms, and like even my mother's like inviting me over for meatloaf, and I want to be like, Mom, I can't be around you. My parents are in their 70s.
Right.
It's just not advisable, even with the people I've come in contact with. You mentioned briefly Gal Gadot's Imagine, but
Mhm.
in general, she has also been a source of positivity and good vibes and good messages, and imploring people to practice social distancing as well.
I think she's wonderful and a beautiful human being inside and out. And I wish people could take it easy on her because, yeah, I think she just has a pure good soul to her. And she wants people to wash their hands and treat other people with kindness and trying to bring people together. And is it always going to be success the way that she goes about it? Maybe not, but she's still our Wonder Woman. And, I would like to see some love and support for her support right now.
Yeah, Mikey, any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on
I,
Gal?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm in the chat with the group. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
He doesn't care
Oh,
about us
Gal
anymore.
Gadot,
We've
I thought
lost
it was
him to the chat.
wonderful. I think Anson Mount, that actor guy, the terrible Black Bolt, bashed her like horribly. And I was like, but I go, did you bash the Italian people when they were singing? He's like, no, he kind of singled out because they're famous, they're well off, and they're not maybe hurting as much as people that live paycheck to paycheck. Everyone grieves in their own ways. So let them grieve in what they want to do. It was wonderful. You know, I got no time for him.
Hmm.
Got no time
By
for
the
him.
way, other human beings in that too. Amy Adams, girl can sang. She was in that video.
And she covered it well. She sang good.
I thought she sounded great.
I gotta watch
Also, there
that.
was a video in there of somebody who I thought was Henry Cavill, but it was not. Who is that Henry Cavill look like, Mikey? The guy right before James Marsden. He literally looked identical to Henry Cavill, but he's another famous dude.
I'll have to see it again, kiddo. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Maybe you guys can tell me. I was like, oh my God, it's Henry Cavill. And it was not.
Yeah.
It was not.
So let's talk a little bit about the distant future of DC movies. A film that's been delayed so much, but is getting closer and closer to production. Probably a good thing now because it seems to be on the other side of the clear. And that is this Black Adam movie. And the busiest, hardest working man in Hollywood, The Rock, in all his typical positive just sort of way about being is talked a little bit about the character. What do you guys think about that?
It was awesome. He said, "Black Adam has been with me for over 10 years now." How crazy is that? A decade.
Mm.
And I think he's been doing a lot of good on the internet right now. He did he sang Moana and taught his kid to wash their hands and has been adorable. So I've been enjoying his stories as he's been posting them. He also said, and that gives you an idea of how passionate I am with this project, how passionate our seven bucks is about this project. Warner Brothers, New Line Cinema, DC, they've been so incredibly supportive over the years. This has been over 10 years. In 2008, we started talking about this. So it has required a patience by all of us as partners. And I am a much different man and an actor than I was 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. He's super psyched about the character. He's talked about how the character is as powerful as Superman, but more rebellious, more reflective of his own personal nature. I mean, we know he's a producer on the film, so he's never going to be just like another actor on the film. Like, it's going to have the full power of The Rock's promotional abilities behind it when it does happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then finally, rounding out any movie news, we have, speaking of Amy Adams, and Jesse Eisenberg, I guess, both talked about how they'd totally be open to playing their respective DCEU characters again. Although I know Amy Adams has also mentioned that she doesn't think that they're coming around to Henry Cavill's Superman anytime soon.
Yeah, she says she thinks the studio's moving in a different direction from her understanding. Guys,
Yeah.
ask me if I'm open to playing a DC character.
Roxy, would you be open to playing a character in the DCEU?
Totally open. Who is not gonna say that? Who every time I see these news stories, totally open. No crap.
Roxy, you guys, and Roxy and Adam, you guys are correspondents and hosts. And you don't do it. Please, for any other people listen, don't sit there on a red carpet when a person's on a new thing and go, "Hey, would you be interested in playing a superhero in a Marvel film?"
You know,
No
Mikey,
actor is going to go, "No."
I
not
have
gonna
done
do it."
that before. I have
Oh
done
my
that
God,
before
those clickbait bullshit
because
lines.
it's because producers ask you to. And if you're getting paid to do a job and your
Well,
producer
Roxy,
tells you,
you're Roxy, you are a ballsy Jewish woman. Go, no, that's clickbaity. I ain't doing
like,
it.
you lose your job, you don't get paid, you don't come back.
Integrity.
Adam,
Integrity.
you know the deal. You know the deal. When
Well,
when
I
you
got in trouble for the opposite when I was doing the red carpet for that terrible Scott Eastwood horse rodeo movie, whatever. At the time, he was rumored to be in Suicide Squad, and I asked him about it, and I got in trouble because it wasn't a Fox film.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, I had my producer tell me, you ever waste that time to ask about a film that's not from my studio?
Woof, woo.
I hear stuff like that, and now I look at what's going on. Does it really matter anymore? Does it matter?
No.
Like, holy Christ! So that's I'm like,
None of it matters. None of it matters. Can we move on and talk about anything in the world of television?
It's
we
time
could, I think
for.
it would be a good
Whoa.
time for eat some popcorn.
Me too. It's so good, and everybody keeps saying, "What am I eating?" Why do I hear me talking about popcorn? Do you guys hear that? Can you hear it? Popcorn
It's a
talk.
remix. That's right, DC Movie News COVID-19 time remix.
That was crazy. Guys, did you check out that Harley Quinn season 2 trailer?
No.
I saw Kim online this morning. I didn't see it though.
I love the show so much. You guys,
I do too.
it looks awesome. I'm very excited about it. We are, I think we're confirmed to do our interview still next week with the writers. Do you guys know? Or I think we're still confirmed.
Yes.
Might be,
This is Ryan in the booth. Yeah,
Oh, hey,
we're
Ryan.
still confirmed to do 2 of the writers for the Harley Quinn series, who are also writing episodes for season 2, are still a go for zooming in and talking with us.
which I'm very excited about, because honestly, if you are not watching this show, I've told you guys a million times that I'm not an animated person, but this is my favorite animated series that I've seen in years. It is so great, and the season 2 trailer looks just as good, so I'm very excited
A
about
lot
it.
dirtier than I thought it was. It's great.
Yeah, it's raunchy for sure. It definitely is. And then when talking to Comic Book, Stephen Amell said that he was done with the Arrowverse. I think we'll see with him. Well, you never know what happens. He says, "No, I'm done. That was good. It was
Yeah.
It was a good 8 years. It was time to be done."
You know who said he was done too? Tom Welling. And look what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
So,
that's what I'm saying. Like you just.
Wait, well, Tom Welling was done. He came back for like a scene.
but
So I
hey,
think that's
he's
what
back.
this would be. Like he could
Yeah.
come back for.
I don't think he's
from-
going to come back in any big capacity, but Tim say he'll never put that green suit on again. Okay. All right.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was just changing the green suit for some wrestling tights, right?
Yeah.
And then apparently Superman and Lois is going straight to series production after coronavirus delay. I'm kind of surprised that this series. I keep thinking that this is going to be the series that doesn't happen, but it seems like it's.
Why do you think it's not going to happen?
No, it seems like it is. It seems like it is. I don't know. Just
You're sitting there going, I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm asking you why.
at first when they announced it, just we have so many TV Supermans right now, and it's not like the reaction for Superman and Lois was ridiculously strong. The way that they did the backdoor pilot with the Green Arrow and the Canaries, or whatever that show is called. That seems to be how they like to do this with the backdoor pilot, like they did for Flash and Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. They seem to like that backdoor pilot. This didn't really have that same thing. It's not spinning right into it. So I was just like, oh, this is a different format. I don't really know what it looks like, but it seems like they're going straight ahead with it. So it kind of felt more like Shazam Swerve to me for a while, but maybe it happens.
Mm.
There was a quote that said, a number of them, including Call Me Kat, The Big Sky, and Superman and Lois, were planning to film a pilot episode during pilot season, take a break to assess it before starting series production. I hear most of the shows will now go straight to series production.
Wow.
So they won't have that break to assess, which, okay, I like a break to assess.
You know, if a lot of the things are going the way we've been talking about, then the one part of this industry that is going to continue to be strong is the TV one. I mean, movies are really the bigger risk and the bigger unknown, but we know that people getting their entertainment at home is a safe bet for the foreseeable future. So I think it makes sense that they would invest in this show and not waste time.
Yeah. Yeah, they just don't. Time is a luxury they don't have right now.
Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun mixing it up. It is really good to interact with other people. I love my girlfriend who's here. I'm sure she's getting sick of me. So I would also recommend, if you haven't done it and you've used this Zoom thing or not, and you're at home, there's a lot of exercise classes at home. And I would recommend doing that in your living room. If you're getting a little stir crazy, get a little sweat going. It is great for clearing your head. That's going to be my recommendation for you before we take off. Mike Kalinowski, would you like to say anything to the people before we head out of here?
Yeah, I guess, guys, stay safe out there. You know, follow the rules. If you're in LA, do this whole safe stay-in thing. As far as you guys, if you're trying to reach out to me on Twitter, I'm having some problems. I was on a 12-hour hold last week. I had tweeted out something to someone up in charge of the government, and Twitter didn't like that, so I was suspended for 12 hours. I did the suspension, took down the tweet, and now because there's no customer service, I'm like in this weird limbo. I can't respond to you guys. My thing is still there. We were trying to figure out, I don't think I'm gonna start a new account right now, so hopefully this will all get fixed out. But if you guys want to tweet out to customer service and tell them, hey, get
at Twitter support,
you know, and put my name at Mike Kalinowski in there, that can hopefully say, hey, get this guy back online, and maybe that can work. We'll see. Because I love interacting with Twitter with you guys. That's where I like to keep it.
When we get off, Mike, I'm going to put out I already tweeted at them in this tweet, but I'm going to put out an official tweet for them to get you back on. And so then I think if everybody can try to like comment on that, we can try to get like traction.
I realized in this past week without you guys, like that in between these shows is how I interact with you guys.
Yeah.
All of you guys that are watching in the chat, and then when you're watching this, I love interacting, and this would be a perfect time to pick each other's brains on DC and do Q&As and stuff. And I'm out of the loop right now, and
sorry,
hopefully
Mikey.
we can get it resolved soon. I miss you guys.
Shout out in the super chat to Jake Yakavetta, who said, shout out to Ryan doing the production for this. We appreciate you, Jake. You rock. And then for me, guys, I will, just being completely candid right now, artists are taking a big hit during this. And a lot of people are taking a big hit. Adam, who is starting a business right now, Mikey, who's, the park that the acting gig he does right now is, he cannot perform because it's not open. So a lot of us are taking a big hit. One of the ways I'm trying to combat that is I'm going live on my channel every single day, youtube.com/Roxy Stryer. I'll be live today at 3:00. Your support means the world to me. And I will say that I've been watching a lot of people say that during this time of need, as people are home, people are turning to artists and content creators. And I'm so happy to be able to do that for you guys. And I could really, really use your support. So if you can come and check it out, I'd appreciate it greatly.
Yes. And I should mention, if you get hungry and you're in the Los Angeles area, Doghouse is still delivering. We are delivering from 11 to 11. hot dogs, sausages, burgers, chicken. Help keep us alive, as Roxy mentioned. It is
Adam, for our friends in LA, are you guys available for pickup or is it just delivery?
Yes, but you have to order through the apps. You can still pick up, but you have to order through Uber Eats, Caviar, Postmates, DoorDash, or Grubhub. But it is less of a fee if you pick up. However, most of the services have waived delivery fees during this time. So like Uber Eats and DoorDash, they're not going to charge you a delivery fee. I think there will be a service fee, but not a delivery fee. So that helps someone.
Great.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, guys. We will see you next time on DC Movie News.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.